welcome to our 5th episode of Women on Fire, the podcast. I am Rhonda Weeks, and this lovely lady to my left is my ministry partner, Mickey Kramer. Mickey, say hello to the people.
Hello there, everybody. It's great to be here with you.
We hope you all are doing well. We hope you all are surviving all this heat. How are you doing, Mickey?
You know what? I am doing well. Happy to be here, doing well. And I love summer. So this is my time of the year. This is 96 degrees and I am on fire.
Literally, I'm melting.
Yeah.
I'm melting teaching those 13 self-defense classes a week. I am melting. I like the heat, but not when it's like 113 degrees, 115 degrees with humidity. That's a little bit much for me, but we hope you all are doing well. Since we last met last month, we had a wonderful coffee table at His Way Christian Bookstore. We want to thank everybody for coming out. Listen, when I gave that poor lady that works at that store final head count the week before, I said 22 women, and almost 40 women showed up. Y'all showed up, you showed out. Women on Fire had people in the overflow. Hallelujah.
Yes.
Just waiting there to hear the word. And speaking of the word, what we're going to talk about tonight is something that we all say: let it go and let God. Or we might say it this way: give it to God. Yeah. So Mickey and I were just talking before we came on here, and you know, we Christians, we love our cliches, right? We have our own little vernacular going, and when you're a new believer, we are more than happy to let you in and teach us all the lingo. But sometimes we can get in the habit of saying things again and again, and we either might forget the meaning or we might not know what it means at all. So we're going to talk about, what does it mean to tell somebody, give it to God, you know? And it's something that we as believers all the time say it to people when they're grieving or struggling or going through depression.
Oh, baby, just let it go.
See? Exactly. Just like that. Have you ever had that done to you? I have a lot. And you know what? What about those people that are struggling with grief? What if they lost a loved one? It could be either through death, separation, divorce. They might not be in the right frame of mind or mental space to be able to receive that. I know when I first got separated, someone told me, give it to God. And I just wasn't in the mental space to receive that, to take that on, or even probably to understand that, you know? And what about the new believer, or maybe somebody who's not a believer at all? I don't think they're going to understand that, exactly what that means. So you want to add a little something to that, Mick?
Yeah, one of the things, I think that's a really good point. Let it go. The new believer who doesn't understand, what does let it go mean? And then what my perspective was when I think of let it go, I thought of, okay, what about the believer who has known God forever, walked with the Lord forever, and, you know, it's like, okay, well, what is the it that I have to let go? Because, you know, I'm just doing this walk just fine. Everything is just fine. And they're working hard for the Lord, right? I'm working hard. I'm doing this ministry and I'm doing that ministry and I have this going on. And so what is it that I have to let go? Because I'm doing all these things, but there's still a block. I may not have peace. I might not be full of joy. I may still have some of this. So maybe there's something in somebody's life that they just aren't feeling connected. Sometimes there's a block. They might feel blocked. And it's like, okay, what is it that I have to let go? Maybe their family, they're not connected. Even it could be just, I'm not connected enough with my family because I'm so busy over here. And so it's like, okay, but what is it that I have to let it go? And what I went back to was Moses. So he walked with the Lord. I mean, he knew the Lord, but it got to a point in his life where he was working day and night. And he was doing good things, but he still had to let something go, or it was suggested to him, right? And it was like, but I have to let it go, even though it is a good thing. So sometimes it might get to that point where we're trying to make something happen or do these good things. It's not that the good things aren't still good things, but maybe there's an it that needs to be let go, and maybe we just need some help figuring out what the it is.
Right. Or think about that person that might be a new believer that doesn't quite understand what we're talking about or what that means, or somebody that's not a believer at all. You know, I feel for those people that go home and they genuinely try to give it to God. They might get down on their knees and say, God, I give you my blank, whatever that is, my anxiety, my depression, my excessive worry, my grief, whatever it is. And they get up, and that prayer might have made them feel good for a little bit, a couple minutes. But after a while, all those feelings and emotion and that grief comes back, and that stress comes back, and that depression comes back, you know, and then they start getting in those questions. I know I did that early in my faith walk when I was a new believer. You'd start to question, like, did I give it to God correctly? Like, is there a system or a pattern that I didn't do? Or did God not want it? Did he give it back? That could be very confusing. So I think not that that's wrong advice to tell people give it to God, but I think with give it to God, we should also say, get to know him. Because you can't hand over all of your deepest, darkest secrets unless you have an intimacy with someone, unless you really get to know them. And I think about when Mickey and I first became friends almost 11 years ago. Can you believe that? We went to dinner, and I think for the first 2 years of our friendship, we would go to dinner every Thursday, and now we go about every 2 weeks just to catch up, because we certainly want to get together and talk about more than just ministry. That's our time to get together, to talk about family, life, work, all that stuff. But you know, I think of that first meeting, that first time I met Mickey out at a restaurant, I certainly didn't throw up all my problems on her and all my deep, dark secrets. I didn't know that I could trust her. So what we were doing was laying that foundation of time.
Yes.
So that this trust could build and this intimacy could form. And our relationship with the Father is no different. Before you can give it to God, get to know him, develop that intimacy, just like you would a new friend. Spend that time. Then and only then you'll know that you can trust him. I remember when I was in probably first grade, Mickey, my mom said to me, I remember it like it was yesterday. She was giving me a bath. I was probably about 6 years old, getting me ready for school. And she said, you know what, Rhonda, you can trust mommy with anything. You could tell mommy anything. And I thought, oh boy, I got this relationship with my mom. I can tell mommy anything. Not too long went by, maybe a week or two, and I shared something with my mom, and I got guilt and I got shame. So that taught me right away that I can't trust mommy. I can't go to mommy with all my deep, dark secrets. I can't go to mommy with things that happen with my friends or things that my friends and I do. So you have to get to know him to know that he is faithful and he loves you and he is trustworthy. And then you can give it to God. So what do you have to add to that, Mick?
You know, I think with the believer that has that relationship and they know God, and maybe they've just gotten into that, like Moses, he was just in the every day. He got up and he went and he judged the people. And from day till night, it said. And it wasn't until his father-in-law came and the father-in-law watched, and then he was watching what Moses was doing. And I think sometimes it's so helpful to have a friend or somebody around, good counsel. So sometimes not realizing I can do good things and not realize that I might be running myself ragged. And I can understand that for myself, because what I had to learn to do is take a vacation. And there was actually a time in my life where we didn't take vacations. It was just work. And we actually had to, when we would set our goals the beginning of the year and do that, it was, okay, we have to take time for a vacation. And what did that really mean? It meant prioritize family. Because although we were doing things with the church and we were doing here and we were doing recovery meetings and we were doing, family had to be prioritized. Rest is important. And you know what? I don't need to do it all. And I had to realize I am not God. God is God and he has it. So sometimes I can rest. And the other thing I think that is so important is to build the team. And so people in leadership, it's about building the team, because what can happen, at least in my experience, I like to know what's going on. Moses liked to know what was going on. from the smallest to the greatest. What's going on over here? And sometimes we want to build a team where we can let things go. And I think that's important to do. And how does it go from Moses hearing from God to all of a sudden he's doing it all by himself? And I think that ties right into what you're saying, which is get to know that relationship. It's the communal every day hearing from the Lord, what do you want? And having relationship with the Lord, picking up the Bible, hearing from God, what are you saying to me, to know what it is that I have to let go. Oh, and by the way, God uses people to speak to us. He speaks to us through his word. You know, he can speak to us in so many different ways if we're just open to receive. So I think that's important. So like you're saying, with these cliches, we have to be careful to throw that on somebody. And if somebody is speaking a word into our lives, we also want to be careful to receive it and to take it back to the Lord and see if that aligns with what he's speaking to us as well.
And when you get to know God, you get to know who he is and what he's made of and what he's capable of.
Yes.
So we're here to tell you that you serve a God that loves you unconditionally, that is stronger than any problem that you face, that is wiser than anything you could ever be up against. And remember, he knows everything. He knows the beginning from the end. That means he knows all the messy stuff in the middle too. So trust him. Get to know him and trust him. I love David. David is actually one of my favorite characters in the Bible. And what I was just saying to Mickey before we came on here live is that, you know, David didn't give his fear to God. David knew who God was. He knew that his God was stronger than any giant. So I don't know what giant you're facing today. Maybe in this economy, it's a job loss. Maybe it's a loss of a loved one. Maybe it's a divorce. I don't know what your giant is, but give it to God. He has all the answers. We don't.
Yes.
We're just human beings. God knows everything. He knows the beginning from the end. He knows the middle too. Whatever you're going through right now, he knew that you were going to go through that before you were even born. Before he put you in your mother's womb, he knew what you were going to go through. He's got the answers. So just go to him. You know, sometimes I struggle with a lifelong anxiety disorder. Coming out of it, doing so much better today than I used to, praise the Lord. But, you know, I remember all those sleepless nights, worrying and stressing. I don't have to. I don't have to do that anymore. God's got the answers. You know, I was taught a couple things that we can do prophetically to help us give it to God. And one is, we have this phrase, is cast your cares on him. Now, when I was a little girl, I used to go to Ocean City with my family for a week every summer during 4th of July week. And then we would go back for Labor Day weekend. And my dad and I, when I was a little girl, we used to go shark fishing right on the beach in Ocean City. So I'd say maybe 5-6 hours after everybody had been swimming all day on that beach, I was catching sharks like that big, baby sharks. But I knew those mamas they had to be nearby, right? So my dad and I would stand on the edge of the beach and we would cast our line. So if you're a fisherman or a woman that likes to fish, you know there's an awful lot of casting. So what I like to visualize when I'm having a hard time turning something over to God, if I need an answer to something and my mind is just going over it and over it and over it and I can't sleep, I visualize myself on that beach, sometimes with my dad and sometimes alone, and I cast it out and I say, God, take this blank, whatever it is. God, I don't have the answer, but I know you do. I'm going to cast this to you, God. You know what I'm worried about. You know what I'm stressed about. You know what I'm anxious about. You know what this person did to me. There's nothing I can do about it. You know how this situation needs to go. I'm going to cast it off to you. And the other one that I like to share for you is, if you're struggling with giving something to God, I want you to write each thing on a piece of paper and lay each one of those pieces of paper down on the floor. Now, I like to put one thing at a time per piece of paper, okay? Put those things on the ground and visualize yourself laying them at the foot of the cross, at the feet of Jesus. Say, God, I turn blank over to you. And that's it. Sleep. You can sleep knowing that whatever you're going through, God has it. You don't have to stay up at night. You don't have to toss and turn. God's got the answer. And you know what? When you're sleeping, he's working. Doesn't that sound good?
Yes.
You want to add something, Mick?
Yeah, I think one of the things to mention is that sometimes, like, letting it go, and maybe we don't know what the it is. We just feel like, oh man, there's something blocked. There's something there. Maybe it was a past childhood trauma. Okay, I can understand that because I have past childhood trauma. And so that is something that we can, or this is just my experience, I can forgive. I can let it go. It doesn't mean it is wiped away. This is just my experience. It doesn't mean that it's just totally gone for me. The hurt can still pop up. And when the memory will come or the hurt can come, now I have learned to speak into that. It's almost like, okay, yes, it happened, and Jesus was there with me, and I'm covered, and I don't believe the lies of the enemy and what the lies used to say about me or to me or through me. And I think that's the thing about letting it go. Did it happen? Did the offense happen? Yes. Things happen during life. And then part of it is, do I believe that I have been forgiven? Do I get the choice to forgive others? Yes. Can I accept that Jesus died for me on the cross to cover my sin and all other sins? Yes. And I wrote down, I overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of my testimony. I don't let somebody off the hook when I forgive them. And you know, the thing about offenses is, and letting things go, is that it blocks me, not them. It's blocking me from my growth and from my freedom and from my peace and from my joy. And guess what? I want peace. I want joy. I want freedom. And I have it because I have been at a place where I've been able to say, I trust God. And I don't know when it happened, how it happened, but somehow in my life, it's just, I've come to a place where it's like, I trust God. I don't know. It's like, let it go. If something happens, you know, okay, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and God has me. If it falls apart, it's okay. God's got us. If the shoe drops, it's okay because God has us. And I think part of that comes, just for me, is from seeing God's faithfulness time and time and time and time again. So what that teaches me is train up others in the way to go. So it's really important that people who are new believers, hear from people who have been through things, the faithfulness of God, the miracles of God, because what he does for one, he'll do for another. What he did for me, he'll do for somebody else, because he is no respecter of persons. He loves us all, and he wants us all to set us all free. He died for all, not one, for all. Jesus died for all. He shed his blood for all. So I think part of letting it go is just really coming to that place. Or am I ready to release it? Am I ready to say, here's my pen, God, and I'm going to give it to you?
You know, Mickey made a good point. You know, I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what you're going through, but God is there. I know it's easy when you're in it, or even sometimes when you look back, maybe at childhood traumas, or maybe when you've lost a loved one. It's easy to say, where were you, God? But that's a good reminder that no matter what we go through, or no matter what we've been through, God is always right there. Jesus is going right through it with you. He is right by your side. You know, I used to say that all the time. God, why? God, why did you let that happen? But now when I look back, I look at how things could have turned out. And it's made it more aware to me. Oh yeah, God was there. Because as bad as that was, or as hard as that was, it could have been so much worse. It could have been so much harder. So whatever you're going through, God is there. And the other point that I wanted to make is, you know, God did all the giving on that cross. He gave his life for you on that cross. He knew what you're going to go through before you were born. He gave it all on the cross. So it's time for you to start receiving. He's got so much grace to pour out on you. You've got so much more power in you than you even realize. So it's time to start receiving. You got anything else you want to say, Mick?
Well, I think it's really important to remember that God's word is our weapon. Because when the negative thoughts come, when these doubts, when the fears come, and they do come, we have to know how to combat them. And I'll just give it for instance. Our son Blake lost his hearing. He became sick and he lost his hearing. Okay, so a lie that the enemy can use on me is, you could have prevented that. You could have gotten him to the hospital sooner. And so to combat that, I mean, we are where we are. Now, after Blake lost his hearing, we took him, we went to prayer here and there and there and here. God heals who he wants to heal, and God is God. I trust God completely. Blake has a cochlear implant, and he has lost all of his hearing in one ear, and he has partial hearing in another. What I noticed, we just went to visit him, and his sense of eyesight is so keen. He noticed all the birds on the walk, and it was so amazing. And I thought, God, isn't this awesome? He's so attuned to this. And he told me one time, it's so great to be able to read because I don't hear all the sounds around me. So even what Satan might mean for evil, God uses for good. And it's almost like Blake likes it. When he meets people, he's like, hey, I'm deaf. I can't hear.
I can attest to that. Yes, he does. He'll tell you all about it.
Yes. And so hear this, it's a lie. It's a lie that the devil wants to use to try to keep me in bondage. And I will not receive it. And so when it starts to come, it's like, you could have done something and it wouldn't be like this. No, God will use it all for good. And I see it with my eyes and I can attest to it. And I think that it's a mindset. And we have to, the battle is in the mind, right? It's a mindset. And so I share that just to help you. That's real stuff. It's the real. It's the true. And that's how we have to combat this. I'm not bad. It happened. And this is where we are. And God is using Blake in mighty ways. And he will, and he does. And I believe it. So I don't have to feel guilt and shame. I'm free. Blake is free, and God is on the throne. So I share that just so that you can understand, this is how I practice that in my life. I am free. Blake is free. We are free. So if there is something that you are struggling with, that you feel guilt and shame over, that you feel like, I could have done it different, I could have said it different, I should be different, reach out to us. We would love to pray with you. Let us know, because we want to combat that with prayer and the Word of God.
Mickey made a point earlier about looking back in the past at what God has done. I don't know what you're going through today, but you look back and look at all those things that God brought you through. And you go, if God did that for me, he can take care of this right here that I'm going through. Whatever it is that you're going through, he can take care of that too. And I will share something. Not every time, but a lot of times that Mickey and I are about ready to go out to minister, I get some sort of attack in my body. And I know what it is. It's to try to slow me up. It's trying to get me to stop. It's trying to get me to make that phone call to Mickey and say, hey, Mick, remember that ministry trip we got going this weekend? I don't think I can go, girl. But I always plow through it and push through it and pray through it. And we pray wherever we go. Our ministry trips are way, way, way prayed up, I'd say. I think of all of the physical ailments that God got me through. And I go, you know what? If God healed my back 2 times, if God healed stomach pain 4 times, if God healed my neck and my shoulder, he can do this right here. And he always comes through. So that is such an encouragement to remind yourself of what God has done for you in the past, and remind yourself that, hey, if he did that, he could do this right here. I'd say most of the time I get an attack either right before we go to a ministry event. This one was a little bit new when we had our coffee table, that I got hit big time as soon as it was over. So I had a little bit of stress. We had this huge coffee table we talked about earlier, expected 22 people, almost 40 showed up. I left my iPhone in that coffee shop with all of my contacts on it, with my alarm clock. I had to buy an alarm clock, like a real alarm clock.
Can I just say she handled it like a champ? There
Mickey
was no crying.
Mickey thought I was going to have a big old hissy fit. But listen, like, look at where we're at in society, where everything that we have, all the phone numbers, your alarm clock, my Waze app helped me to get to and from work in traffic. Everything that we have is on one phone. And it's a Christian bookstore, so they weren't open the next day, which was a Sunday. So I had to wait all the way till Monday to get that. And I thought, oh boy. And you know what? There was somebody that wasn't so kind to us in retrospect on the other end of that. But you know what? We knew that that was just the enemy hitting us too. So most of my attacks are prior to an event. This one was new that it was after. But I reminded myself of how many times the enemy has tried this stuff on me in the past. I'm like, no. God, you brought me through that. You're going to bring me through this right here. And I think as we're wrapping up here in about the last 4 minutes or so, I'd say the question is, do you trust him? You can only trust him if you get to know him. And once you get to know him, you'll know that your God is stronger than any Goliath you could ever face. He is taller and bigger than any mountain that you could face. He's got an insurmountable full of unconditional love and grace and mercy that he wants to pour out on you. Whatever you're going through, whatever your situation is, God's got the answer. So Mickey, you want to help me wrap this up? You got anything else to add?
I just want to share Isaiah 43, 18 through 19. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. I love that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, you know, God is amazing. We're so happy that you're here with us. And I love this one. Let it go.
And before we go, we do have a little ministry event coming up that we want to talk to you all about. I think we have a flyer somewhere here, Mickey, that we could show the good people. And if you can't see this here, you could go on our Women on Fire Ministries Facebook page. Ladies, we are about ready to have our 8th annual Women on Fire Ministries Ladies Retreat. The dates are October 17th through the 19th at the Black Rock Retreat Center in Quarryville, Pennsylvania, which is Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Lancaster County. So if you're from our area, the Maryland area, it's only about an hour and a half drive. We're going to have an amazing time. So our topic this year, we have a different topic every year is, let me get up here straight so you can see it, is beauty for ashes. So Mickey and I are going to be doing teachings all weekend long on beauty for ashes. We have a surprise guest speaker who's coming from out of state. She's a fireball. You're going to love her. She's going to bring the energy. We have a lady coming down from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. She's going to sing live worship all 3 days. Mickey and I went to a conference a couple months ago in Mechanicsburg, and it was the first time we've heard this woman of God sing, and we were like, what? We got to get her. Songbird. Every day we're going to play little games. We're going to give prizes. You all get really special gifts from Mickey and I every day. Exceptional gifts. This year's no different. We're going to have a fire pit on Saturday night. Yes, we're going to make some s'mores. You're going to hear Mickey and I attempt to sing some worship songs around that fire pit. Mickey always leads us in an amazing craft on Saturday afternoon. I didn't even know that my bestie was artsy craftsy. I mean, I didn't know why with the purple hair. How did I not get that she was artsy craftsy? I don't know. But we have an amazing time, and we want you to join us. And we are now taking $50 deposits, and we have a Venmo account. So I'm going to tell you where to send it. It is at Michelle-Kramer-19. It's at Michelle with one L Kramer with a K -19. So I'll spell it out for you this last time. At MICHELE-KRAMER-19. So we want you to join us. This is our 8th annual, and I think we got it down pat now. We run things smoothly, And we just want to thank you again for joining us tonight. We love you all. We hope you had an amazing time. We did, spending some time with you tonight. You want to say goodnight to the people, Mick?
Yes, we appreciate you so much. And thank you all. Yeah, we can't wait till the next time to get together. Yeah.
See you next month, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We love you.